Hello, everyone. How is everyone? Breaking news here. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape in Los Angeles trial. And that was today. I've been following the trial, and it's just another, Me Too movement of reckoning 5 years after he became a magnet. So you remember, he became a magnet for the movement of the Me Too movement. They went after him. He was found guilty on those charges, even though the women didn't have any evidence. And it goes here too. They deliberated for 9 days, and this trial lasted for over 2 weeks. And it was a jury of 8 men and 4 women. They reached a verdict at the second criminal trial that he's had, because this is his second criminal trial. Um, he's 70 years old, and he was a very powerful movie mogul, and he, movie producer as well. So a lot of females, you know, uh, try to get parts, you know, acting parts, acting gigs, and they reached out to him on a regular basis and told him that they loved him, told him that they liked him and wanted to spend time with him, that they missed him. That went on a lot. And then you have these women, especially Governor Newsom's wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, who actually could not prove her case, and she actually went and after accusing him, she reached out to him on how to handle bad press, which I said from my last video when I was covering this, is that why would you reach out to someone that you say assaulted you? And you should know how to handle bad press because of the type of work that Jennifer Siebel does, as well as her husband, who actually was the mayor of San Francisco at the time that this was going on, when she claimed that he did that to her, and she wanted to how to handle bad press when she reached out to him. So this is just another Me Too movement reckoning. So he's now sir he's let's see, he served so far, I believe, 2 years into a 23-year sentence, which, where he was convicted of the big R word, and sexual assault in New York. Now, he was found guilty of the R word, forced oral copulation, and another sexual misconduct count involving a woman known as Jane Doe #1. Now, the jury was unable to reach a decision on several counts, notably charges involving Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom. The jury reported it was unable to reach verdicts in her allegations and the allegations of another woman. A mistrial was declared on those counts. Well, because, I mean, come on now. They were not able to reach a verdict because, first of all, she really didn't have any evidence. And if you are accusing someone of something, then you go back and reach out to them and ask them for advice. Why would you do that, knowing that you're saying that this person assaulted you in some type of way or they violated you? That never made sense to me when I first covered this. And so, when he was first being charged, going to trial for this. So anyway, he was also acquitted of sexual battery allegation made by another woman. He faces up to 24 years in prison when he is sentenced. Prosecutors and defense attorneys had no immediate comment on the verdict. It is time for the defendant's reign of terror to end, Deputy District Attorney Marlene Martinez said in the prosecution's closing argument. It is time for the kingmaker to be brought to justice. Now, some of these prosecutors, they have a lot of nerve, but we're going to move forward, right? Lacking any forensic evidence or eyewitness accounts of assaults Weinstein's accuser said happened from 2005 to 2013. The case hinged heavily on the stories and credibility of the 4 women at the center of the charges. The accusers included Newsom, a documentary, she's a filmmaker whose husband is, like I said, California Governor Gavin Newsom, and her intense and emotional testimony of being raped by Weinstein in a hotel room in 2005 brought the trial its most dramatic moments. Well, yeah, but you know what? She actually thought that her emotions was going to, find Harvey Weinstein guilty. And again, she did not prove her case because, if it really happened that way, why again are you reaching out to someone that you say sexually assaulted you? And she had no evidence, none whatsoever. She's a filmmaker, so since she's a filmmaker, she should know how to be dramatic, right? And I'm not mocking these women, but come on, if someone did something to you, there is no way I'm going to go and try to reach out to my, perpetrator, you know, I'm not going to do that, man. That's just, I can get my information with all, like I said before, with all of the, you know, agencies out here that could have helped Jennifer Newsom with how to deal with bad press, or she could have reached out to her boyfriend at the time, who is now the governor of California, on how to handle bad press. But again, she was too busy going off on the woman that her now husband was having an affair with at the time, and she was busy calling her names and attacking her and saying she was the culprit, when in fact her husband and the woman, it was in a consensual relationship, and she went on to marry Governor Newsom, Gavin Newsom. So she's not credible to me. Now, another was an Italian model and actor who said Weinstein appeared uninvited at her hotel room door during a 2013 film festival and AR'd her. Now, Lauren Young, the only accused who testified at both Weinstein trials, said she was a model aspiring to be an actor and screenwriter who was meeting with Weinstein about a script in 2013 when he trapped her in a hotel bathroom, groped her, and masturbated in front of her. The jury was unable to reach a verdict on the charges involving Young. Now, she was the one that testified in New York, and actually she had a friend, and she accused the friend of not being there and supporting her when she went in that restroom. Now, I believe this is the young woman that went in the restroom. She didn't have to go in no restroom, and with all these people in a hotel, she didn't scream. You know what I'm saying? She claimed her friend, and she was angry with her friend because her friend didn't stop her. But you're a grown woman, and you have a choice here. So I'm not sure where we're at in this world of the judicial system in America, but something just isn't right. It's just a miss. And I don't condone any type of violation of any women or woman or child or whatever you want to call it. I don't. But we got to get to a place where common sense is common. And we're looking at a lot of things that are just not common sense anymore. And the fact is, we're still dealing with this Me Too era or reckoning. We're dealing with that. And so this is what we are facing. And that's why it's so important that women, mothers, whoever you are, daughters, please talk. And when I say daughters, you are a daughter of a mother. You may have a child that's a son or nephew, but whatever your title is, please talk to your male children, because you just don't want to see your male children and family members behind bars, or even friends behind bars, over foolishness and over allegations where there are no proof, there is no forensic evidence, and we are seeing that so much. But he was not convicted on some of the charges, but he was in one case. He was. So like I said, the jury was unable to reach a verdict on the charge involving Young. Now, a massage therapist testified that Weinstein did the same to her after getting a massage in 2010. Now, Martinez said in her closing that the women entered Weinstein's hotel suites or led him into their rooms with no idea of what awaited them. Now, if this man was showing up at your hotel rooms unannounced, why didn't you just let him know that he was not welcome there? So why would he come all the way upstairs to your hotel room? And they didn't call you on the buzzer to let you know you had a visitor in the lobby and that you could come down to the lobby, or let's tell him that you were not available, or reschedule for another date that would be somewhere other than a hotel room. With any man that it's not your husband, it's not your family member, and it's not someone you're in a relationship with, why would you allow a man up to your hotel room? So anyway, it goes on to say, who would suspect that such an entertainment industry titan would be a degenerate rapist, she said. The women's stories echo the allegation of dozens of others who have emerged since Weinstein became a Me Too lightning, a hashtag Me Too lightning rod, starting with stories in the New York Times in 2017. A movie about that reporting, she said, was released during the trial, and jurors were repeatedly warned not to see it. It was the defense that made hashtag Me Too an issue during the trial, however, emphasized that none of the four women went to the authorities until after the movement made Weinstein a target. Defense lawyers said two of the women were entirely lying about their encounters with Weinstein, and that the other two had 100% consensual sexual interactions that they later reframed. Regret is not the same thing as rape, Weinstein attorney Alan Jackson said in his closing argument. He urged jurors to look past the women's emotional testimony and focus on the factual evidence. Believe us because we're mad. Believe us because we cried, Jackson said jurors were being asked to do. Well, fury does not make fact, and tears do not make truth, which is that's a good statement. Now, all the women involved in the charges went by Jane Doe in court. The Associated Press does not typically name people who say they have been sexually abused unless they come forward publicly or agree to be named through their attorneys, as the women named here did. Prosecutors called 40 other witnesses in an attempt to give context and corroboration to those stories. 4 were other women who were not part of the charges but testified that Weinstein or sexually assaulted them. They were brought to the stand to establish a pattern of sexual predation. Weinstein, he beat 4 other felony charges before the trial even ended, when prosecutors said a woman he was charged with raping twice and sexually assaulting twice would not appear to testify. They declined to give a reason. Judge Lisa Lynch dismissed those charges. Now, Weinstein's latest conviction hands a victory to victims of sexual misconduct of famous men in the wake of some legal setbacks, including the dismissal of Bill Cosby's conviction last year. The yard trial of that 70s show actor Danny Masterson held simultaneously, and just down the hall from Weinstein's ended in a mistrial, and actor Kevin Spacey was victorious at a sexual battery civil trial in New York last month. Now, you know about Danny Masterson. He is being accused of those charges with the Church of Scientology. And they tried to cover it up and do mediation within the church. And the judge wasn't buying that and did not allow that. So he was having his trial down the hall, Danny Masterson. So I will give you an update on what's going on with that as well whenever that comes about. Now, Weinstein's New York conviction survived an initial appeal, but the case is set to be heard by the state's highest court next year. The California conviction, also likely to be appealed, means he will not walk free even if the East Coast conviction is thrown out. So he is still serving time. He was convicted, you all. And so just leave your comments below, your respectful comments. Let me know what you think about this. How do you feel about him being convicted on one of the charges, but the other ones he was not? It was in a mistrial. What do you think about that? So please, again, leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. Share the video and give it a thumbs up. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. If you want to support the channel, you're more than welcome to do so. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram, StandupBcounted. Check out my jewelry, and then stick with it 6 weeks. Any mode or form of exercise 3 times a week, 30 minutes a day, and you can do it in 10-minute increments. God bless you all on today, and I will talk with you soon.